Hello and welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a slice of life. In today's video, we're continuing with our discussions of the Eurovision 2024 artists, and we're going to be looking at an internally selected artist this time. I'm Kittens, and I use pronouns she, her, and I am joined by the ever lovely.
Dan,
Hey, thank you for
hello.
joining me, Dan. So we're going to be talking about this year's Austrian entry. So let's just do a little summary to set the scene. So this year's Austrian entry is Kaleen. She was chosen via internal selection and revealed January 16th. The song is called We Will Rave and was released March the 1st. So firstly, your initial thoughts on the selection. So did you know about this person? Did you know anything about this before the 16th of January?
So she was someone I didn't directly know about, but someone who had appeared in a lot of different instances before. I believe she was part of a flag ceremony a couple of years back. She's been standing at Junior Eurovision. She was also working at the Junior Eurovision in 2022 together with her husband Marvin Dietman. Um, and she was in the selection for Austria in 2023. Um, but I didn't know who she was at that point. So it's just been a lot of, oh, it's that person over and over.
Yeah, I had no idea who this person was. I went on the day that she was announced, I went and listened to her album and I was like, yeah, this is fine. I didn't really know what to expect based off the album. Um, the other kind of vaguely interesting thing, I suppose, is even though the track didn't come out until March, there were a lot of leaks of the track. I think on social media it was very hard to ignore the leaks of the track. And there ended up being a lot of hype around the track because of the leaks, I think. What were your thoughts on that? Did you listen to the leaks or did you stay clear?
It was hard to avoid, as you said. I did listen to it, and I mean, my thoughts about the track were always influenced by my opinion on the selection process. In which obviously there's a huge conflict of interest in a selection process where the person leading it is the husband of the person that won it, um, which is something that has been influencing my opinion of the song. So yeah, I think it's definitely a pretty good song, but it's my opinion won't be very unbiased if we say it
Mm.
like that.
I mean, when we coming around to the track and when we heard the version that was released in March, what were your opinions of its chances at Eurovision? Were you like yes? Or were you like, I mean, it's a hard year for bangers.
Yeah, I do think it's I don't think it's gonna have any problem going through the semifinals. However, in the final, um, it is a little dated, and I don't think that's gonna be appreciated when the juries get to have their say. Um, but I will expect some good staging with good choreography. I mean, Marvin Dittman is good at stagings. That's what he does. Um,
And she's a former dancer, so
right.
we should expect good choreo, which I was really surprised to not see shown off in the video. Um, the video came out shortly after March the 1st. There was a delay in its arrival. And the video is for a track called We Will Rave, personally, I feel is the least ravey video I've ever seen in my life. It appears to be just people like half naked people smashing stuff up in a warehouse, which I've been to raves. This is not normally what occurs. I mean, the other thing that comes to mind is we've really not heard this live either, and we're ahead of the pre-parties at the moment where Kaleen is announced to be appearing at several of the pre-parties. Do you think there's a possibility that this performed live and a staging could damage their chances or enhance their chances?
I don't really think it can be affected, in all honesty. Since the introduction of the selection system, as far as I know, which started last year, um, there's been the live audition part of the selection, in which obviously the acts have to sing and perform their song live. And I think it's really helped to not have a situation where it turns out that they
Surprised they can't sing or surprised they can't perform.
right. So I have no, I mean, even though I do think there's a conflict of interest in the selection, I don't think she would have been chosen if she couldn't sing. And so, and since you, as you're saying as well, like former dancer, like it's just set up for her to do. I don't think it can be negatively impacted. If anything, it can be positively impacted, but we're yet to see.
Yes, of course. And I mean, obviously, we've talked about dancing and stuff like that. Is there something that you would personally love to see from the staging? Do you want it to be straight laced? Do you want it to be campy? Do you want it to be
It has to be so campy. This is a very, dare I say, like cliche Eurovision song. And if that's the route they're gonna go down, I do think they have to take it all the way, because we've seen so many instances of a, you could say, very cheesy or very classic Eurovision song, and then but it takes itself way too seriously. And I think in this instance you have to embrace the campiness and embrace the cheesiness and just go, yeah, it's campy. So what? It's fun. Like,
yeah.
it's gonna show that. And I really hope that it's not taken too seriously. Like, I hope they show that it's fun, because it is fun, but it has to be shown as well. It can't just be heard.
Yeah, I think my worry is that they are gonna go and try and do what I'm gonna kind of affectionately call a 2000s girl bop staging. Um, and I am slightly concerned that we are gonna get Colleen looking amazing, stunning, on a platform in some sparkly heels and a sparkly outfit, and that will be it. And I think that there are other acts, not necessarily within the semi-final, but certainly within like the final, that could potentially steal some of that thunder from them if they don't make it really memorable. I mean, we all got into, I'm gonna mention the dreaded phrase fra Planet of the Bass. We all got into Planet of the Bass in the summer. We all were like, this is camp and ridiculous. And this is very much of the kind of that kind of era, ridiculous, I mean that affectionately, ridiculous techno Eurodance from the early 2000s feels like the genre, and the reason that video was popular was this because it was camp as hell. I think if they do it too straight-laced and do it too, you know, close to the bar, it's going to be a problem. Um, and I just don't think it'll stand out. I mean, I feel like with people like Windows 95 Man and Yoast, who are potentially kind of in a similar kind of category to this song in terms of like stealing votes off each other, I'm a little concerned that it's not going to be memorable on the night and it'll get overshadowed by other things.
I completely agree. Um, it's this is also another instance of what we don't know what Austria is going to bring compared to Finland. I mean, the thing with Finland is that they have Benke Rydman, who has done who's been head of choreography for or head of performances for Finland and UMK, I think since 2022 or at least since last year. He also did like Heroes, and so he's good at stagings, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep the same concept from UMK to Eurovision, and with Jost, we saw the performance, the first ever performance of his song released just the other day. And while it doesn't really tell us anything about staging, it shows that he has incredible stage presence.
Yes, so
Which
much
I mean,
energy.
I'm sure the Dutch and Belgian people already knew this, but I think it showed the rest of Europe that we're going to have a show, like a proper show, in Malmö. But with Kaleen, we don't know. And
No.
that's the big question mark because I think both Windows 95 Man and Jost have been proven to be very charismatic and like very, I would say, experienced performers. And this is something we just don't know yet. So it's a big question mark.
Yeah, and it may be that when it comes to it, it's all totally fine. But I think this song may live and die on its staging, and I am a little bit concerned about it. Not making its way through just purely based on not being memorable enough. Um, so it'll be interesting, I think, to see what happens with this song. I mean, my personal thoughts about this song is that for a song titled We Will Rave, this would definitely not be played at any rave that I've ever been to. Um, and that's fine. We have songs like, we have rock, the songs referencing rock that come in Eurovision that would never be played at any rock bar that you've ever been to. Um, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how people respond to it because it is a song called We Will Rave that I feel is totally out of the rave subculture. Um that is going to be kind of interesting. There are I don't think there's any songs this year I would hear played at a rave, or at least not the ones I attend. But it'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes down. Yeah. I hmm. Yeah, I think this is one of these songs that could go either way. And I'm really interested to see how it pans out, to be honest. I know it has a lot of fans. I know there are a lot of people who are wild about this track. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this recap, unless you have any further thoughts.
I think we've said them all.
Good, good. Thank you so very much, Dan, for joining me. Dan, where can people find you if they want to hear more from you, the lovely you?
I think mainly just on Twitter, at VDan Design is where I'm at. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for spending your time with me. Um, if you enjoyed this recap, thank you very much. Please hit the thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when we have a new recap coming. Also be sure to follow us on every social media going at that Eurosite on Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and Instagram. And be sure to check out that Eurovision podcast on all your favorite streaming sites. All that's left for me to say is thank you so, so much, Dan, for being here, and thank you, viewers, for watching Kittens Out.
Bye bye.
Bye.